How is it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store's year-end sale is running right now, and I am here to take a look at some of the historic low game deals. These are games that are cheaper than ever as far as their digital price points are concerned. A lot of great stuff to go over. Got about 15 deals in a wide variety of price ranges, and this isn't everything, but these are the ones that I just decided to cover. So let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Persona 5 Royal, which is $17.99. Get to see Persona 5, even if it's just a little bit, get cheaper and cheaper. Obviously, widely considered to be one of the greatest JRPGs of all time. While I personally am not as crazy about Persona as a lot of other people, I've played P3, P4, P5. I even have I think it's Persona 2 on the PSP. Like, they did a remake on the PSP. But really, as far as Persona is concerned, people focus on Persona 3, 4, and 5. And the games are fantastic. You know, again, they're not my favorite JRPGs ever. I don't get as crazy about, like, the social aspect of these games and the bonds and whatnot, but I think from a gameplay standpoint, they're great. I think the art style is great. I think the soundtrack is phenomenal, and the story is obviously really good in all three of the games. But P5R, $17.99, great pickup there, and also a massive, massive undertaking. Like, if you're gonna try to beat this game, do all the content, yeah, you're gonna be playing it for quite a while, which is, you know, a good thing and a bad thing. Mostly a good thing, because the thing about Persona is it keeps it fresh. There's enough variety in the content that I think it's worthwhile to go through at least a large majority of it. So $17.99 on that, good price there. Next up, we got The Surge. It's 80% off for $2.99. This is a game that is very much one of the earlier Souls-likes in the sense that nowadays you have so many players that are dropping Souls-likes. In the mid-2010s, it still was From Software for the most part, and then, you know, you would see the Lords of the Fallens coming out and so on and so forth, and The Surge as well. And these games certainly have a level of jank to them, but I think for $2.99, it's a pretty good pickup, and I love the setting in The Surge. I loved, you know, the robo aspect to it. I'm always a big fan of that, the sci-fi element of it, but I think for $2.99, it's a good pickup. Certainly, it's gonna have its issues. It's not like the game has been upgraded or anything like that, so performance-wise, it's gonna be a little bit lackluster, and I feel like for a Souls-like action game, the performance is very, very crucial, but nevertheless, $2.99 on that. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn Edition is $14.99. I would highly recommend this. Now, this includes the base Tales of Arise game and the Beyond the Dawn expansion. The Beyond the Dawn expansion is fairly mid. Like, I wouldn't say it's blow away. I just think it's okay. But if you like the characters in the base game and you just want more of that, like more time with them, I feel like it's still a worthwhile expansion to go through. But the main game is really good. Like, I really enjoyed Tales of Arise. I thought it was a great game. You know, certainly I don't put it at the level of Abyss or Berseria, but I still think it's pretty damn good for what it is. And $14.99, a good pickup there. Next up, we have Indigo Prophecy, $2.24. However, if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you will get it for just $1.49. I think that is a tremendous deal for Indigo Prophecy, which is a game that, truth be told, does show its age quite a lot. Back when it came out on the PlayStation 2, it was a bit ahead of its time, but Quantic Dream titles in general are ones that don't age the best, but Indigo Prophecy is still a worthwhile narrative-driven game to go back and play. Certainly at this stage of the game will come across pretty janky, but I feel like there is a level of charm to a bit of jank, and when you're getting jank for $1.49 with a Plus subscription or $2.24, I think you could let a lot of that slide. It's at the right price point, so I would check that out for sure. SOMA, 95% off for $1.49. I mentioned this in yesterday's video. This deal is absolutely insane. Go watch that video if you want more of my thoughts on it, but Soma is a tremendous game with an excellent atmosphere, great tension, and it's a little bit different of a lot of the other horror games, although we've seen stuff like this where the game is all about the atmosphere and the tension and less so on action-oriented gameplay, but for $1.49, great price there. You know, it certainly is on the shorter side, but you're paying $1.49, so I think that's great. Tomb Raider: The Definitive Survivor Trilogy is $9.99. This gets you Tomb Raider 2013, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. A brand new low price on this. I mean, this trilogy is absolutely tremendous. These games are phenomenal. Rise of the Tomb Raider, in my opinion, is the best. Tomb Raider 2013 is really good as well. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, from a gameplay standpoint, is awesome. Narratively is where Shadow of the Tomb Raider kind of fumbles. It's unfortunate, but the trilogy is still fantastic, and for $9.99, this is a bargain, an absolute bargain to pick these games up for. By the way, on Rise of the Tomb Raider, while the game doesn't have a PlayStation 5 upgrade, you can play that game at 60 frames per second on the PS5 because it was PS4 Pro optimized, so something to look at there. Same as well with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so yeah, that's kind of nice as well. Tomb Raider 2013 is the definitive edition that runs at 60 FPS just right out the gate, so $9.99 on that. Great pickup there, so definitely recommend that. Lords of the Fallen, 50% off for $14.99. Now this, I mentioned Lords of the Fallen earlier. There was an original Lords of the Fallen that came out in 2014. This is the, I guess you could say, reboot, reimagining, whatever you want to call it. For $14.99, I think this is a really good price. I actually really dug this game. I'm not a big Souls-like guy, but I thought the atmosphere was great. I thought the Realms gimmick added a little bit of originality to Lords of the Fallen. I'm not saying it's blowaway. It's nowhere near the level of the FromSoft games, nor is it at the level of Lies of P, to be honest, but still a decent game, and I think for 15 bucks, it's a pretty good pickup. Unfortunately, had a lot of performance issues at launch, and they've ironed a lot of that out, but still isn't the best. But nonetheless, $15 I think is a good buy. The Red Dead Redemption bundle with Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2 is $39.99. This gets you the obvious PS4 and PS5 version of Red Dead 1 now, and only the PS4 version of Red Dead 2. Hopefully that PS5 version will be happening sooner rather than later. I feel like we've been waiting years and years on that. $39.99 on this. It's essentially, they've dropped the price of RDR 1 down. That goes on sale now for $25. Red Dead 2 has held up at $15. These games are phenomenal. You guys already know it's one of my favorite franchises in gaming. I'm hoping that, you know, after GTA 6, Rockstar will in fact do Red Dead 3, and maybe I can pick that game up in 2040 or something like that, but nonetheless, this is a great bundle. Red Dead 1 is awesome still, and Red Dead 2 is fantastic. The thing with Red Dead 2 is if you've waited this long to play it, I would personally wait until the PS5 upgrade, but man, the game is so tremendous. You would probably, it'd probably be worthwhile to play through the game at 30 frames per second as the PS4 version, and then when the PS5 upgrade comes out, just play through it again. That's how good this game is, but it is a vast undertaking. Red Dead 2, that is. Red Dead 1 is lengthy as well, but certainly not as lengthy as Red Dead 2, but both games are great. $39.99, great pickup on that. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 Royal Edition is 50% off for $45. You get the base game and all the DLC. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will not be for everyone, but the people that it's for, they will absolutely get into it. That's the thing with this game. The people that like it are gonna get super immersed into it, and it's gonna be one of, if not their favorite game of 2025. I think that historic vibe to the game is great. I think the open world is phenomenal, and best of all, how this game leaves you to your own devices and leaves you to do whatever you want and really complete objectives in a myriad of different ways. I think it's outstanding in that regard. Now, this game literally might just be too much for some people in the sense that there's not a lot of hand-holding. You really have to figure a lot of it out for yourself, but that's kind of the charm of the game, and it's a really, really good game. I would give it a shot. However, you know, $45 is steep. The thing is, if you like it, you're gonna end up getting north of 100 hours of gameplay, and the Royal Edition includes all the DLC. Again, there are gonna be some people that this game just doesn't resonate with. I've talked to so many people that have dropped this game, and usually it comes back to the combat, but nevertheless, $45 on that, a pretty good deal there. Final Fantasy, the Twin Pack, the Final Fantasy VII Twin Pack, which includes Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that is available for $49.99. Essentially, FF7 Rebirth's price has dropped down to $35, and you're paying $15 for Remake Intergrade, which is a pretty good pickup. These games are awesome, highly recommended. At this point, I've glazed these games enough. Rebirth was probably my second favorite game of 2024. My top three was Metaphor, Rebirth, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Yeah, I love me my JRPGs, but nonetheless, I thought Rebirth was great. Remake was a solid game as well. Obviously, play them sequentially, like play Remake first, excuse me, and then play Rebirth. Rebirth, while it is a better game, you still should absolutely play Remake. But yeah, $50 on that. Amnesia the Bunker is $3.74, while from a frictional game standpoint, I definitely lean towards SOMA. Amnesia the Bunker is a worthwhile pickup at this price point. You're left alone in a desolate World War I bunker with only one bullet remaining in the barrel. It's up to you to face the oppressing terrors in the dark, keep the lights on at all costs, persevere, and you make your way out alive. A truly intense horror experience. So check that out if you do want another horror title. $3.74 on that. Tales of Grace's F Remastered is 50% off for $19.99. This came out back in January of this year, and I think this is a pretty good discount, all things considered, for Tales of Grace's F. You know, it's not my favorite Tales of game. I didn't resonate with the characters that much in this game, but the Tales of games, like I've said before, I think they are so incredibly consistent that at the very least, you're getting like a pretty damn good JRPG each time out the gate. Even like Zestria, which is generally considered by most people to be the worst of the franchise, I still think that game is pretty darn good. Grace's F, same feeling on that. I personally didn't get into it as much as a lot of the others, but I still thought it was a worthwhile JRPG to go through. $19.99 on that. Soul Hackers 2, we have the digital deluxe edition for $13.99, which does include the DLC. This was a game that a lot of people were down on, but I personally really enjoyed. I liked the main character in Ringo. I just thought she was a super likable character. The rest of the cast was good. The soundtrack is great. Some of the dungeon design is absolutely appalling, like I will say that, it's like abysmal, but I still found the game easy enough to figure it out and then you could get through it. But for $14, I think this is a pretty good buy. Again, I really like the game, probably more so than a lot of other people, but at this price point, I think it's pretty good. Miasma Chronicles is 70% off for $10.49. This is another game that I really dug. I played it back when it came out, and I'm not gonna say I was blown away by it, but if you're into that XCOM style of tactical gameplay, this will be right up your alley. There are some pacing issues, particularly with the latter portion of the game where you kind of just rush to the finale from my recollection on this game, which I just thought it was a little bit jarring how that it was handled. I thought the overall story in the world was pretty good. I thought the world was incredibly compelling. The story, for the most part, was captivating until, again, you get to that latter portion. But for $10.49, I think this is a pretty good pickup, and if you're into that XCOM style of tactical play, I think a lot of people will end up being pretty surprised by it. Lastly, Immortals of Aveum is at 90% off for $6.99. This was a Plus title not too long ago. But Immortals of Aveum is a game that I enjoyed. However, this game has some of the absolute worst voice acting, characters, and story of all time. If this game just focused on the gameplay itself, I think a lot of people would have thought, hey, this is like a really fun game. However, the narrative, the characters, the voice acting, all of that is so abysmally bad that it was just a disaster as far as that is concerned. But I thought the gameplay was actually really good, and from that standpoint, for $7, I think it's a pretty good buy, and I would recommend it. So that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available right now. Links to all of these historic low game deals in the description box down below. As always, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more of our coverage of the year-end sale, and sound off with all of your thoughts down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.